I have 4 children. Yeah, I have twins who are 11 named Stav and Noam. I have a 6-year-old named Yuval. I have a 2-year-old that we haven't found time to name yet. By the Upshuren. And they're asking me, my kids are now in the stage where they want to know who I love the most. They're always asking me, who do you love the most? And you know what I say to them, right, parents? I love you all the same. And they said, well, that's impossible. You must have a favorite. I said, what do you mean impossible? Of course it's not impossible. Like, what if I were to ask you, who do you love most, me or mom? They said, Mom. And that was on Father's Day. My best friend growing up is Catholic, and he recently had a daughter, and I said to him, Ed, you know, as a Catholic, what's your theory for raising your child? He said, oh, for us it's simple. We have a mantra, WWJD. You know what that stands for? What would Jesus do? I said, no, that's really interesting, because as a Jewish father, my theory of parenting is more like WWMADDNDTO. What would mom and dad do? Now do the opposite. It's sort of my theory. Because we love our Jewish parents, but you know what they're like. They're neurotic and overbearing, and they give you guilt. I don't know if you got guilt. I got so much Jewish guilt. As a child, my parents, typical Jewish parents, they had a bumper sticker on their car that said, if my son worked just a little bit harder, I too would have an honor roll student at Jefferson High School, And it worked. That's the thing. I was a well-behaved child. I only shoplifted once when I was growing up. When I was 10 years old, I stole an ice cream bar from a 7-Eleven. And before I stole it, I read the ingredients to make sure it wasn't trafe. That's what I did, the guilt. Now, in addition to the guilt, my mom is also a worrier. And I know all mothers worry, but what is it? We have Jewish mothers here. Where do you learn to worry like this? Where do you learn to look at any situation, analyze it, and find the potential tragedy somewhere in the situation? Anything can kill you if done correctly. Last summer, let's see if anyone can figure out what my mother was worried about in this scenario, okay? True story. Last summer, my brother got married in San Francisco. Cool. So I said to my mom, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fly out my family from New York to San Francisco. We're going to go to the wedding. But then we're going to rent a car, drive down Highway 1 to Los Angeles, visit some friends in LA, and then fly home to New York. My mom said, no, I will pay for your airline tickets. If you fly to LA, visit your friends, rent a car, drive up Highway 1 to San Francisco, go to the wedding, and then fly home. Now, to me, that was like the exact same trip. Already, I can see 15 heads nodding in this crowd. What was my mother thinking? That's right, I would fall off the cliff. Thank you very much, ma'am, for saying that so succinctly, right. Driving south on Highway 1, I'm next to the cliff and I could plummet into the Pacific Ocean. Driving north, there's a mountain. Thank you. Do you have kids of your own? Yeah? Are they in therapy? Because you might want to, you knew that awful fast. So here's the follow-up. My mother did, in fact, buy airline tickets for my entire family. But what did she do without telling us? She split us up onto 2 separate flights. How come? That's right. I love how you said that. So we shouldn't die together. Exactly. Because if one of the planes crashes, only half the family dies. The other half can live on and mourn them in misery for the rest of their existence. Very good. What's your name? Elaine. Okay, so you're 2 for 2. Here's the third one. Now, Elaine, this is the tricky one, so listen up. You can get some help from the crowd if you need. On my 12th birthday, my grandfather, my Zadie, gave me a Chicago Bears football jersey with the number 34 on the back. Walter Payton. Except on the back, instead of Peyton, it had my name, Joel. Well, my mother wouldn't let me wear the jersey outside the house. How come? Kidnappers. Thank you. I love how you said that with no irony whatsoever. Kidnappers. For those of you who aren't Jewish, let me explain. I'd be at the park and a stranger would see me in my jersey and he'd read my name. And then he'd call me by name. And because he's using my name, I would think he knew me. So I'd go with him. You know why? 'Cause I'm an idiot. And I'd get into his van and he'd drive me to Iowa. And that's why there are no Jewish athletes. It's not that we're bad at sports. Our mothers won't let us wear the jerseys. Now you know why. Thank you.